This would be like our hay wagons without all this gunk on the top. They would have a hay rack, and I don't know if you can see them or not. See these gizmos here? So the rack would sit down in, kind of where this board is, and then it would come out over the tires, and there'd be a hay rack maybe like 5 feet up in the air, and that would bring you put the hay in there. And it was very hard, very rough to ride. You'd think riding in a load of hay would be easy and fun, but it was very rough, and you'd go jiggle, 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 jiggle. Okay, now let us step over to the hay loader. Now the hay loader over here would have been pulled, hitched on behind the wagon, and this would be run by the action of the wheels. As the wheels turned, they would turn the reel, which would pick up the hay in a windrow, and it would pick up the hay and put it on the conveyor, and those tines would come down. It was very intricate, wasn't it? And they would carry the hay up, and then when it got up to the top, it would drop down into the hay wagon. And then the man, my father, would be at the under that and would pull the hay back into the wagon and distribute it around the wagon. And the thing was, you wanted to get as much hay on the wagon as you could, because making the trips from the field to the barn was very time consuming. If a lot of the fields were quite a distance from the barn, and so you tried to load the wagon up as much as you could. And in front of it here is a dump rake, what's called a dump rake. And before tractors, you could hook a horse or horses up here. The farmer would sit here, and he could run all of this stuff. Now what you did with a dump rake is you'd go across a field of mowed hay after it dried a little bit, and you drag it into a row, dump it there, and go on to another row, dump it there, and you had to be the judge of how to make the rows nice and straight. Otherwise, you'd have, a bit here and another bit there, and so on. So the farmer could sit here and direct that with these levers and so on. Then after, that was kind of tedious, and I don't know why they didn't invent it sooner, but after this, they had a side delivery rake, where you just simply pulled the rake along and the tines were to one side, and they spun around and made a row. This way you had to design your own row as you went across the field, but the side delivery rake would spin out its own row of hay, and so that was a big improvement.